Tiffany Trump has always been the most elusive of the Trump siblings. At just 26 years old, she has somehow managed to maintain a low profile despite growing up in the shadow of one of the most famous families in America. While her older siblings, Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric, have been deeply involved in their father's business and political affairs, Tiffany has remained somewhat of a mystery. From her privileged but distant upbringing to her shift in the public eye during Donald Trump's presidency, Tiffany's story is filled with family drama, media absence, and a quiet struggle for her own place within the Trump empire. Born to Dynasty, Donald Trump and Marla Maples, Tiffany is the only child from her father's second marriage, but the way she came into the world was far from picture perfect. When Donald and Marla began their relationship, Donald was still married to his first wife, Ivanka Trump. The affair made headlines, and when Marla became pregnant with Tiffany, the media frenzy only intensified. Even Donald himself admitted that he wasn't thrilled about the pregnancy at first. In a 2004 interview with Howard Stern, he bluntly stated that while he was happy to have Tiffany now, at the time, he wasn't exactly jumping for joy over the news. Marla and Donald's marriage lasted just 4 years before they divorced in 1999. With Donald deeply focused on his business empire, Marla took on the primary responsibility of raising Tiffany. She has openly spoken about the fact that Donald was not an involved father, though she made sure to emphasize that he loved his daughter. After the divorce, Tiffany grew up primarily with her mother in California, far away from the glitz and drama of Trump Tower. Her interactions with her father were reportedly limited to occasional visits, mostly during holidays and special events. Despite the distance, Marla always encouraged Tiffany to maintain a relationship with her father. But even with her mother's efforts, Tiffany remained largely absent from the Trump family's inner circle. When Donald launched his presidential campaign, it was Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric who stood front and center, playing significant roles in his bid for the White House. Tiffany, on the other hand, remained in the background, only making a handful of appearances during the campaign. It was a stark contrast to the polished and carefully curated image of the rest of the Trump children. But just because Tiffany wasn't as visible as her siblings didn't mean she wasn't living a life of privilege. While she didn't have the same financial backing as Ivanka or Don Jr., she still enjoyed an extravagant upbringing. She attended an elite private school with tuition costs upwards of $30,000 per year, went on luxurious vacations, and rubbed shoulders with the rich and famous. In her younger years, she dabbled in modeling and even tried her hand at music, releasing a song called Like a Bird when she was just a teenager. Later, she interned at Vogue while attending the University of Pennsylvania, following in the footsteps of Ivanka, who also graduated from Penn. Before Donald's presidential campaign, Tiffany had started to gain some notoriety as an Instagram celebrity. She was part of the so-called Snap Pack, a group of wealthy young influencers who flaunted their lavish lifestyles on social media. But as Donald's political ambitions grew, Tiffany's public persona took a turn. Her Instagram, once filled with glamorous party photos, started to include more family-oriented content. It was a clear shift, one that aligned her more closely with her father's image. Despite this rebranding, Tiffany's bond with her older siblings remained somewhat distant. Reports have circulated that Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric were not particularly welcoming to Tiffany, and some even suggested that they tried to have her cut out of the Trump family will. Allegedly, Ivanka even joked about the issue during family discussions. While these rumors were never officially confirmed, sources close to the family have hinted that Tiffany may have to fight for her inheritance in a way that her older siblings never had to. Even Barron Trump, Donald's youngest son with Melania, seems to be more firmly positioned within the family than Tiffany. For most of her life, Tiffany had very little interaction with her half-siblings. It wasn't until she was older that she started forming a relationship with Ivanka, who eventually took her under her wing. Ivanka has spoken about guiding Tiffany, offering her advice on everything from politics to fashion. While Ivanka claims to love her younger sister, some speculate that their relationship is more about optics than genuine sisterly bonding. When it comes to politics, Tiffany's involvement has always been minimal compared to Ivanka. While Ivanka played a key role in her father's administration, Tiffany's contributions were much smaller. In 2016, she did speak at the Republican National Convention, voicing her support for her father's campaign. But beyond that, her role in his political career remained limited. her public presence remained reserved, making it clear that she was not looking to become the next Ivanka. However, Tiffany hasn't always aligned perfectly with her father's political stance. In 2018, she liked an anti-GOP post on Instagram, which sparked speculation about her true political beliefs. Though she later publicly supported her father, some believe she holds more independent views than the rest of her family. She has also taken to social media to call out the press for allegedly silencing certain voices, adding to the confusion about where exactly she stands in the Trump political machine. Now that Tiffany has graduated from Georgetown Law, the big question is, what's next for her? Many wonder if she will finally step into the Trump empire and take on a role in the family business. Some speculate that she could become a legal advisor for her father, using her law degree to carve out a place for herself within the Trump organization. Others believe she may take a different route entirely, steering clear of the family drama and focusing on a career in law outside of the Trump name. In 2017, Donald Trump told Fox News that all of his adult children would eventually have a role in the White House. So far, that statement has only applied to Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric. Tiffany, despite her law degree and increased public appearances, has yet to find a defined place within her father's empire. But as she continues to navigate her future, many believe it's only a matter of time before she becomes more involved in some capacity. Growing up, Tiffany was always on the outside looking in when it came to the Trump legacy. Unlike her half-siblings, who were raised within the family business, Tiffany was brought up in a completely different world. Because of this, she has often been seen as the black sheep of the Trump family. But her law degree, her strategic public appearances, and her increasing involvement suggest that she may be ready to step into a larger role. With a legal background, Tiffany could be a major asset to the Trump organization, particularly in areas where legal expertise is needed. The Trump empire has long been entangled in various lawsuits, business disputes, and regulatory challenges, making legal counsel a crucial component of its operations. With her Georgetown law degree, Tiffany could serve as an in-house legal advisor, ensuring that the company navigates legal matters strategically while minimizing risks. She could also play a role in managing the organization's real estate deals, financial negotiations, and corporate compliance efforts, strengthening its ability to operate smoothly despite ongoing scrutiny. Beyond the business world, Tiffany's legal knowledge could be valuable in the political sphere, should her father decide to run for office again. As someone with first-hand experience in both law and politics, she could offer insights into campaign regulations, policy development, and legal defense strategies that would support her father's ambitions. If she chose to take a more public role, she could even position herself as a political analyst or consultant, using her legal expertise to influence discussions on issues that align with her interests. At the same time, Tiffany could leverage her education to carve out a completely independent path, one that distances her from the Trump legacy and allows her to establish an identity of her own. Unlike her older siblings, who have been deeply tied to the family business and political ventures, Tiffany has the unique opportunity to redefine what it means to be a Trump. She could pursue a career in corporate law, human rights, or even academia, using her legal background to make a name for herself outside the family brand. Despite keeping a relatively low profile compared to Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric, Tiffany has made noticeable moves in recent years to become more visible. Her decision to attend law school signaled a shift toward a more serious professional path, one that requires dedication and discipline. Her increasing presence at high-profile political events, including her speeches at the Republican National Convention, suggests that she is at least considering a future in the public eye. While she has yet to fully embrace a specific role, her calculated public appearances hint at a long-term strategy. Whether that involves stepping into the Trump empire or forging her own legacy remains to be seen.